This business is like the Wild West. Gold, silver, rare coins, lost treasures of history. You never know what's gonna walk through that door.
These are coins from North Korea.
I'll probably double my money. Watch this. I'm Evan Kale, and this is Pawn Man. You guys, we have a great episode of Pawn Man in store, but before we get into it, I really want to thank the episode sponsor, once again, Braden River Antiques. You guys visit Braden River Antiques online at social media, or go visit their website, or if you are in Sarasota, Florida, visit their storefront at 1005 Northeast Avenue. Braden River Antiques is a great antique dealer. I really like the stuff that they get. I check out their stuff quite a lot. I've done business with them, and they've been a great supporter here, so go check them out, give them a follow. Going to antique stores, one of my favorite things to do, and Braden River Antiques has a great selection always, so check them out, and with that, let's get into a great episode.
And this is just, I went online and similar ones or that one, this is what they went for on eBay.
Like a couple bucks, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Lone Ranger. How's 40 bucks for all of them?
I take it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm gonna sell these in my auction tonight. What else?
And then there is this tubs. There are 65 old maps in here. Yeah, they're all like from 40s or so.
The Black Hills. Oh, cool. From... Is there a date on it exactly?
On some of them there are.
50 bucks for the pile?
I'll take 50 bucks for the pile.
Cool. 90 bucks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, better than a dumpster.
Absolutely.
Gotta wonder how many of these maps there are just inaccurate because of climate change. United States Department of the Interior Geological Survey. Interesting. Big Bend National Park in Texas. Oh, cool.
Well, I hope you make a fortune on it.
We'll see. Somehow I doubt it, but I'm sure I'll do okay for 50 bucks. Turns out one of these is $1 million map. Wouldn't that be something?
Wouldn't that be fun? Yeah.
Yeah, fun word for it. So what happened with this deal here? These maps, I actually think these maps are going to be a big hit. I looked on eBay and so when I do this, I don't have to sit here for an hour and go through and find a price on every single fucking map. And if she wanted me to do that, I just wouldn't do that. I'm too busy and that's not how you do this. I look and I see what one goes for approximately. And I ballpark from there based on what I can pay, based on what I see. Because odds are I'm going to end up underpaying if I do something like that. I saw one of these maps. It was a reprint of a 1915 map from 1950 from South Dakota. It was the Black Hills. Now this one's in better shape. This one right here is $90. One map. One map, and I have a whole motherfucking stack of them. Just like this, the United States Geological Survey. This is a home run. Slam dunk. I'm going to make a lot of money on this deal. We'll see how long it takes to sell, though, because who the fuck wants a map from 1954? We'll see. The comics are dog shit. I'm going to sell these in my whatnots. I'm going to sell all these probably in one lot for starting bid 40 bucks just to get rid of it because it's too tedious and I don't want to deal with it. They smell bad. I'm going to do on whatnot tonight, starting bid, sudden death, 60 bucks. Get my money out on that. And then these maps, I think these are going to be eBay items. I'll put a few up on eBay right now. Well, to be continued. These maps might be a really good deal.
This is kind of interesting. I'm selling silver to a gentleman who doesn't speak a whole lot of English. He lives in Duluth. He's from Venezuela originally, and as far as I understand, he ran away because, yeah. He's an artist, and I'm gonna commission some of his stuff. I saw him some silver, and we've been chatting for a while. But he's got some really cool woodworking sculptures. They're very expensive, but check this out. This is really cool. Go ahead. Why don't you explain some of this here?
All right. Well, the very first thing that he ever did was the Lady of the Lake. So he was missing the beaches in Venezuela in the spring of 2020 just after the pandemic had started. He was missing the beaches. I said, well, we have a beach. Brought him and said, get your coat on. And so
it's a cold beach, but it's a beach.
So we went down to Park Point Beach in Duluth and we were walking in the sand and he kicked up her arms. It's one piece of wood. And he said, doesn't this look like a woman's arms? I said, yeah. And he found something that he thought looked like the head and the legs. Went back and he used the kitchen bread knife and some wood glue and put it together and made the Lady of the Lake. And she's only about this big. She's not for sale, but she was the very first one. And after that, people were saying, my goodness, you should keep doing this. So he kept going back.
Oh, yeah.
This one's very small. It's called Grandma Turtle. This is a full size, of course, coffee table. And that one is an entire driftwood tree that had washed up on the shore. We went down with the chainsaw, cut off the bottom. It was obviously
That's really
hollow.
cool.
It took him over a month to clean it, and holes kept opening up. Finally got down to the solid hardwood, and then we had the glass custom made for it.
Now, obviously, art is subjective. Not everyone likes everyone's art. Not everyone understands why things are so expensive. Like some of you might be saying, well, it's $7,000. Why is it so expensive? Because people's time costs money. It's why art tours are expensive. The amount of people that just, they don't get it. It's like, well, I guess in your mind, people just work for free. So our art is expensive because it takes time. It took them a month just to do the table, just to clean it up. That's cool, though.
It is a life-size buck that watches. We call him Gray Salon Buck. He's named after one of Wilmer's many brothers, Hector.
Do you still have this one?
Yes, we do.
This piece is still available. There's a dragon.
That is the dragon. He comes apart in several giant pieces, so he's easier to move. This is a life-size horse in our front yard.
Wow, that's really cool.
And it was inspired by the nostrils. He found a knot, cut it in half, and said, oh my gosh, this looks like a horse. I said, well, that's going to be a big horse.
That's like a gargoyle.
It is a gargoyle, exactly.
So you find one piece and you just go from there.
This is called the mother. It's a single piece of wood that is 2 branches and a knot on the butt, the big old butt, and a knot in the front, which she carved to show a nursing mother. It is suspended on this driftwood arc and another piece of driftwood down here. And the concept behind this is that he feels that motherhood brings a woman closer to heaven. And so she's suspended. These are some pieces that you have here.
Yeah, but here's a walleye, which is...
And the walleye.
Right behind me, which is right here. How much do we ask on the walleye? 5,000?
3,000 was what we have listed on it.
Okay, yeah. I mean, this is incredible. All right, so check this out here. Now, I've seen these rounds a lot in the past. I just found out today what they are. CRL, Consulting Radiologist Ltd. Now, what the fuck is going on here? What does that mean? Now, if you're watching me here on YouTube, I feel like well, this audience probably knows me better than the one on Facebook that is just a passing fancy and doesn't know a goddamn thing about me because they watched one video. But if you do, you know that precious metals, it's not some stupid, shiny doomsday prepper thing that smelly, gross militia people buy. It's also the oldest form of money outside of sex, and there's a whole lot of practical applications. This round comes from discarded radiation equipment. That's right, you heard me. What they'll do is they'll take old medical equipment that has precious metal in it because, as we know, they use it in a lot of different things, precious metals, and then they will refine it once the machines are discarded and they will turn it into silver bullion and sell it. Now, my OG viewers remember the deal I did. It was one of the first deals I filmed for YouTube. I bought a whole bunch of platinum eyelid covers from an optometrist because platinum, like so many other precious, like all of the precious metals, highly resistant to corrosion, which makes it great for things like implants, like for eyelids, gold for teeth, etc. Also, precious metals have a high amount of electrical conductivity, so they're great for all kinds of equipment, technology, various devices, and medical devices are pretty big. So how do they turn a radiation machine into this? Well, it's 6 steps. Number 1, they gather up the equipment, everything that's being discarded. They disassemble it, they crush it up, and they grind it, and then they go through one of 2 processes. There's pyrometallurgical and hydrometallurgical. The pyrometallurgical process involves heating the discarded equipment up and stripping the precious metals away through heat, versus the hydrometallurgical process involves using chemicals to strip the precious metals away and removing it that way. Now, after this process is done, they refine it and then they pour it into a product like this. What's cool though is I see these CRL rounds all the time, and this was pointed out to me by a customer the other day. I had no idea. I'm like, I looked at this and Consulting Radiologist Ltd. I think I'd even looked at that, but I never put 2 and 2 together. So just remember, everyone, as we're going to talk about shortly, there's a whole lot of practical applications for precious metals besides preparing for the economic apocalypse that is probably coming. Yeah, those doomsday preppers, they actually this time may not be wrong. Broken clocks right twice a day. Pokemon, eh?
Yep, and trying to see.
These are newer ones.
Okay. And I got a book here.
Let's see here.
I know nothing about them.
Yeah, you, me both. Or at least the newer ones.
Okay, so yeah, I can tell you, these are all newer ones. 2016, this is a reprint of an old one. Oh, these are newer ones.
Okay, to be honest, I don't really know what I'm doing here with these. I don't want to pay $450. I'd take a chance at like $175.
Because I ain't got nothing else to do with it. Go ahead.
Okay. All right, well,
I guess I don't know. So.
I might be overpaying. I don't know. All right, so what did I just buy? Honestly, taking a chance. I have not done well on Pokemon cards lately, you guys. I don't want to buy them because I kind of don't know what I'm doing with them. The older stuff, I know. I think for 175, I'm gonna do just fine on this. I'm gonna sell these on Whatnot tonight. I'm gonna sell some of these on Whatnot. I mean, it came with the box, and I got this whole book here. Yeah, I think I'll do okay. 175 on this. We'll find out.
I got something really cool to show you guys. So I got this while I was on vacation, and it was sitting at, like, I have so many packages I haven't got to yet. I'll get to them. But anyway, this came. Charlie Mack, one of my good friends who I've never met. He's one of my internet friends that I'm very close to. He sent me this. So obviously, Charlie, you guys follow him. He's really good shit. He's been a sponsor of me, and he's really big in the silver community. But he sent me this. I got this, I was like, Constitution of the United States. And I didn't recognize who it came from, and for a second I thought it was somebody being an ass to me. Like, just being like, fuck you, you're not an American, read this. But no. But this is so cool, though. I love that he's doing this with the community. I think he started this. He's the first one who did this. So, Constitution, which I honestly think I'm gonna read it before I send it out. I've read the Constitution, I haven't read it in a while. But these are all people in the silver community. Everybody's signing it, and they want me to add my name. So, let's see here. Okay, yeah, Haley Bug got it. I know Haley Bug, I know Graham Stacker. Cool, so I'm gonna add my name to this Constitution, and then it's gonna go off to the next dealer. But that's the thing about the silver stacking community. We kind of, not like we all know each other, but we are very friendly. We're very approachable, and I love community stuff that links people up like this. This is cool. So kudos, Charlie. Great job. All right. So number 23. And I'm arrogant as shit, so I'm gonna sign it too. Look at that. I put Minnesota, but the M. This is how I sign my books. It's a cross, because that's funny, because, you know, Jesus, but I'm a Jew. Awesome. Very cool stuff. On to the next place. All right, well, we got another Coke update coming in, and just as I thought, I'm making a lot of money on this deal, because I know I would. All right, this is all that's left of the Coke stuff. As you can see, I've sold everything else in that deal. Just these two, and I just sold this. I got $300 for this, so I am way on the profit zone, pure profit, and I still own this for free. This is on my eBay for I think $250. So I had a friend over the other night, and we were chatting about money and coming out of poverty and, like, you know, building yourself up and you know, just adulting it, shall we say. But so we were talking about money, and he said, I got this disposable income, and I kind of don't know what to do with it. And I'd already talked to Zeroff about silver. He said, well, should I only buy silver and gold? No, don't put all your eggs in one basket. That's always a terrible idea. You diversify. That's what wealthy people do. They have assets. He said, well, what do you mean? I said, look around. See all the art hanging on my walls here? Every time I buy that, that is money I'm putting away in something else and converting it to another form. We'll be talking about art in a second here, but I've been speculating, and I'm sure you guys all saw the interview, or if you haven't, go check it out with Jose Trujillo. But I've been speculating a lot on his art. I have a lot of money into it, like thousands of dollars. But let me show you something here. So eBay, right? The sold section, because this is how you can tell what stuff goes for. There's a filter in eBay. You can click see sold and just see what prices people actually paid. That's how you figure out what stuff is worth, or at least that's what gives you an idea. So look at this. A year ago, he is paying 50-ish bucks tops. This one sold March 26th, so just a few weeks ago, for $2,600. This one sold for $1,663, $1,600. You know, these are all recent. And here we see, this is somebody who purchased one. This isn't Jose's account. This is somebody who purchased one, put it in a fancy frame, and then resold it. And I have a few of his paintings up. They're many times what I paid for on my website. But each time we see something going like this, you know, going for this price, it establishes a value. I was bidding on this and I lost. It went for $560. So what did I do? Well, I know the guy. I'll commission him to do something for me. In Eagle, he doesn't do many of these, or at least he's not really doing many yet. Because this sold for this price, this established a precedent. So about a month and a half ago, or like right when I lost that, I was like, well, I want an Eagle. I want an Eagle because his business is like definition of America, and I actually don't have a lot of patriotic stuff in here. I was gonna get a 13 stars flag, but they're expensive, and there's a connotation with those now that I kind of don't want to have here. So I had him do this. And I'm not going to say what he charged me, but it was definitely a friend price. And it's the same Eagle, right? He just repainted, but he put the flag in it. I bet I'd get more for this one. It's a 1 of 1. He's probably not going to do any others like it because it's a commission. We have a precedent of $560 with that Eagle, so who knows? I didn't pay $560. This one here, you guys remember this? He did this for me like 7-8 months ago. He did that for me for free. It's a 1 of 1. He's not going to do any more. This is like my little like Jose corner that I'm building, except I got my painting right there. But like all these paintings have gone way, way up since I bought them just a couple months ago. Now, what do? I'm looking for trends. I'm looking for what I see people paying the most for. So like I see these cats are going for a lot of money. So I messaged him yesterday because I don't have a cat. And I said, will you do my cat? Sure. So he's gonna do a cat for me now. And the value of what the cat is, because we see people fighting over it, it's automatically more desirable. Look for trends and be prepared to hold on to stuff for a while. You are speculating, but you can get it right. So as I was saying to my friend,
Diversify your bonds. Once again, you guys, I sincerely want to thank the episode sponsor, Braden River Antiques. I love antique stores. I love going to them. It's always an adventure when you go. And Braden River Antiques has really, really cool stuff. You can visit them online on social media, or if you are in Sarasota, Florida, go visit them at 1005 Northeast Avenue, again, in Sarasota, Florida. They have a storefront, or again, you can see them digitally. Check out their stuff. Give them your business. They're supporting me here. It means so much to me that they're supporting me, not just now, but they've supported me several times in the past. They're really good shit. I bought some stuff from them. Check out Braden River Antiques. And with that, we're talking, you guys, all about the world of art, artwork, something I don't do here, but I am endlessly fascinated with. Now, artwork, you guys, is, I would say, probably the oldest staple of our human culture. It's older than music. We were doing cave paintings before we made instruments. It is kind of the first evidence that humans were as complex and smart as we are, that we are truly evolving out of being animals into something more civilized. So with art being as old as human culture itself, well, collecting, again, separates us from animals. It's something that we humans love to do. To intrinsically want to collect something is kind of a uniquely human thing. It requires a great deal of complexity in your brain to want to do something like that. And with art being as old as it is, and collecting being a staple of our culture as well, collecting and art go hand in hand. People have been collecting art for a very long time. It's changed forms quite a bit. When I say artwork, you imagine a museum probably with paintings, right? That is kind of a newer form of art. Earliest forms of art, cave paintings, statues, stuff like that, and obviously art has transcended into all kinds of mediums and has utilized technology in so many different ways and continues to, especially now with the advent of AI-generated art. Is that art? We'll talk about that in a little bit. Art became a symbol of wealth and luxury as early as ancient Egypt. Lapis lazuli and gold, beautiful structures, priceless structures now. I wouldn't want them because they're probably all cursed. Buried with the pharaohs. Who are the pharaohs? The kings. Other examples, bronze statues of Greek gods in Greek temples. They would get master sculptors to be the ones working on these, the artists of the day. Oftentimes, when a territory or a region would be conquered, the conquerors would loot the art. They'd loot the statues. They'd take it home or take it wherever, or they'd destroy it. Now, unlike other collectibles that we have covered, one, this is probably the most expensive arena we have ever covered. Two, there's a lot of factors at play with other collectibles. The main thing to keep in mind with artwork is it original. You start with that. Now, condition can still be a factor. It's just not nearly as important. Who's the artist? How many paintings did they do? And is the work in question one of their more iconic works or not? But above all else, is it an original? There might be a world-renowned artist whose paintings sell for, tens of millions of dollars. Let's say they only did 15 paintings. Some way, some shape, somehow, they find one of his paintings, a lost painting that was only rumored to have existed in an attic. It's in terrible condition. It survived a fire. It has mold damage. You can barely tell what's on it. That'll still be worth millions just because of what it is. So who's the artist? How big or influential were they? And what is the piece in question? Is it a more well-known piece? Is it a less well-known piece? Is it a lost piece that's only rumored to have existed? And when buying art, you do it in two tiers. There are investors and there are collectors. I myself am in the middle. Most people, I would say, end up somewhere in the middle. Collectors don't care about what they're spending. They're not buying it to make money. They're buying it to enjoy it. Collections consist of either a certain typeset, a certain era, a certain artist. If I ever get really wealthy, I really hope I do. I'd love to collect art. I'd love to have a private gallery. And I would collect scary paintings because that's my kind of art. That's the art that I like, that's provocative. I like older stuff. Francisco Goya, one of my favorite artists. Salvador Dali's my other favorite artist. But Francisco Goya's paintings, not only are they really well done, he just was incredibly talented, they're scary. And that's why I like them. They're so provocative, they take your breath away. And that to me is really good art. A John Wayne Gacy, we'll talk about that in the end. Also, very scary just because I know who the guy was and what he's painting. It's so scary looking at his artwork. He's a good artist for a lot of reasons, but his paintings scare me, and that's why I like his art. So collectors are concerned with assembling a collection for their own joy. Investors are looking to make money. They're speculating. Now here's the thing with art, and what fascinates me so much about it, not only is it probably the most corrupt, crime-ridden collector market there is, it's also, again, like I said, the most expensive with the most moving parts. It's the biggest wild card that will yield you the highest return out of anything I can think of. But how do you predict it? Art is so hard, and a part of the reason why I don't do it here, because how do you predict how the price goes up and down? It can be so easily artificially manipulated. It's so rife with money laundering and forgeries and just all these complex factors, all these people pulling on strings, trying to get rich, trying to do this, trying to do that, trying to push the market one way or another. And it is so subjective and is so easily pushed one way or another. You know, if you're in the right, then you're really in the right. But if you're in the wrong, you get burned something fierce. Take, for example, my trip to the Guggenheim. Really cool building, not my scene. They had, you know, some Rembrandts and some Picassos and like some really, really expensive works of art that were beautiful. And there was my friend Mike. This was like 3 years ago. We walk all the way around this big circular building, all the way to the top, and we get to the top, and it's like this big empty room, and there's like a mess in the corner. Like it looks like the janitor didn't clean up. Like it just looks like there's like trash and like rope, like on the ground, like a big like thing of rope, and it's just like in a corner. I think that's this big echoey room, and I walk in, I'm like, oh, okay, we paid $40 to walk in a circle for 20 minutes, and I walk right up to this thing, and it's suddenly like beep, 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 and there's security guards, and they're like, get away from the exhibit. I'm like, what exhibit? They're like, sir, get away from the exhibit. I'm like, what? What, this piece of shit? Who's the fucking artist? Helen Keller? So that pile of trash and ropes, you know, probably worth millions of dollars. Would you pay? I wouldn't pay it, but someone would, and that's the thing with art. Once somebody buys it, a price has been set, a precedent has been established. What happens if you get two billionaires in a room having a pissing contest with money?
$1 million!
And they just want to humiliate the other one by making them overpay on something stupid. Well, then it sells for $300 million. Guess what? That's what the painting is now, or the art is now established as being worth. And that's what's so crazy about art. So as an investor, how do you get in front of this and predict it? I guess you gotta really know your stuff. You gotta have your finger to the pulse of the art world always, because it can change very fast. Another problem with this is very similar to the Kanye West episode. You're tying all your money to one figurehead, that artist. If that artist does something crazy, like, I don't know, gets convicted of pedophilia or turns out they're a black Nazi, you're fucked. It's not just the artist too, the political climate can change. The attitudes of people can change. I would bet you, here's another example, a painting of Harvey Weinstein. Pre-Me Too, that might have been something people would have been really interested in because the climate has changed. You are gonna be more hard pressed to find somebody interested in that because of the subject matter and how our society has changed since 2016. That could really hurt the value. So how do you predict that kind of stuff? I guess you just guess and you're lucky, or just buy art that's like more safe. When speculating on art, you want to take a few factors into play. Who's the artist? Do you think they're going to be influential? Why is that? What is their work like? Is it highly unique? How many paintings are they doing? Are they a full-time artist? Are they something else that is being known for their art? And the biggest thing, does anybody want to collect it? Let's talk about Jose Trujillo. And I do want to shut up about him because I know I keep talking about him again and again and I'm jamming it down your guys' throats, but I do think I have a home run here with art, with his art. Here's why. When I discovered his stuff, I was just looking for other stuff for my store. I bet I looked at 5,000 paintings that night on eBay, just scrolling. His stood out to me. And oh, what's this? A lot of people will want to collect this art, and I've seen evidence of that with his price now massively rising. So what are the upsides to investing in art? Well, you are gambling. You're taking a huge risk. It is very hard to predict. And another problem with art, you guys, forgeries are rife. There's so many forgeries. There's so many auction houses that unknowingly sell forgeries. So if you get art right, boy, you can make a lot of money. You can make higher returns than literally anything I can think of. Here's some great examples. In 2005, there was a Da Vinci. Salvator Mundi is the name of the painting. Everybody thought it was fake. Sold at an auction house in 2005 in Louisiana for 20 grand. They figured out it was real. In 2017, it went for $450.3 million. That is a 391,565 fold return. I cannot for the life of me think of anything, not even cryptocurrency, if you get that right, and that's gambling, will give you returns like that. Andy Warhol's paintings, you can get them for $1 million or $2 million in the 80s. Tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars now. In 1986, a Monet, Mueles, if I'm pronouncing that right, sold for $2.5 million. 2019, that same painting went for $110.7. Basquiat's Untitled, 1984, again, $20,000 was acquired for. 2017 sold for $110.4. Now, there are some factors that can make art go down as well. For example, there was a German artist in the 1990s. Their paintings were extremely expensive, upwards of $1 million. But in the 90s, people figured out they did too much and nobody wanted to buy their stuff because the market was oversaturated with their work. Their paintings plummeted in value. They're starting to come back up, but they still haven't quite recovered. There's an Andy Warhol painting, inversely. You know, they can go up, then go down too. One sold for millions, another version of the same painting a couple years later, during the recession, sold for hundreds of thousands. Now, what does the future of art hold? I mean, I'm fascinated with AI and just this revolution that's happening. Is it art? I myself, honestly, I don't have an answer for you. I would think so. My friend David, I went and saw him in Atlanta. He's the character director on the show Archer. He's been working for it since season 2. He designed this. He's one of my best friends. He's teaching himself Python so that he can code because he thinks that AI is going to render the entire art world obsolete, or at least his job, within the next 10 years, or it'll massively impact and change it. And so he wants to get ahead of that by learning how to code the art too. There's going to be, I think, an AI artist that, or there's going to be artists that come from making AI, and they will be successful. I would recommend do your research, find someone who's got a great mind, who's using AI to explore the depths of their mind because they themselves can't do it. That I think is a great cheap buy right now. Now this is where it gets morbid. Very similar to autographs and sensationalism, and the less an artist makes, the more of an impact they make while they're alive, and the shorter they live, the less paintings they do, and the more sensationally they die, the more expensive their shit goes up. What do you want when you're buying autographs? You want a young starlet who lives fast and dies young and does some really good roles that captivate society. Same with artists. My final advice to you guys, just collect art for fun. And if you get it right and you make a lot of money, then awesome. Wouldn't hurt you to educate yourself a little bit about art, especially if you go to garage sales, because there's so many treasures that are just sitting out there. People don't know what they have. You hear all the time these stories of people that find these paintings that the person selling it doesn't know what they have because their grandma had it, and it turns out it's $1 million painting. My mom at a garage sale in the 90s bought this, it's like a painting of the Golden Gate Bridge. She paid, I want to say $20 for it. It's a $30,000 painting. My parents sold it, but the person had no idea. My mom had no idea. She bought it because she liked it, and then they looked into it because they're like, God, this painting is really good. I wonder who did this. And yeah, just keep in mind, you guys, there's so many forgeries in this market. It is so corrupt. It is so hard to predict. Do your research. Be confident you're buying something authentic if possible. Get a guarantee that if you find out, a guarantee that never expires, that if you find out it's fake, you can get your money back. And above all else, just enjoy what you buy. And I will say this, you know whose art might be a good thing to buy? Mine. Here's why. I've had a societal impact, I don't think I need to defend this at this point. People know me. I'm up and coming. My art right now would be cheap. This is my second favorite painting I've done. This is hanging in my store. My favorite painting is my Heisenberg. Those of you that have seen my Whatnot auctions, you know it's hanging in the background. I don't really paint anymore, but I'd love to get back into it and keep doing stuff like this. Pay me enough, I'm available for commission. I'd want a decent amount of money because it would take me so much goddamn time. But someone like me who is up and coming, who can paint, who doesn't sell many paintings, who doesn't do many paintings, I will never do many paintings in my life. Someone like that is a good idea, good reference to keep in mind for, use me as a template or like me as an example for what might be a good buy. Keyword is might. Because with this, you guys, this is the number one thing. Like cryptocurrency, your shit could go to zero. Usually art historically is a pretty safe investment, but there's just so many wild cards, you gotta be careful. And that's the magic of the world of art and collecting. Is it art if the artist you love dies tragically and you make $1 million? No, that's called winning the lottery. The most fucked up way possible. All right, you guys, well, just like that, it is the end of the day and the end of the episode. Once again, I sincerely want to thank the episode sponsor, Braden River Antiques. You guys visit them on social media or visit them if you're in Sarasota, Florida. They have a great storefront. They have an excellent selection, really quality people. There's a link in the video description below, so go check them out. And if you guys like this video, be sure you give it a thumbs up. If you guys like what I do, please consider becoming a Patreon. Even $1 a month gets you early access to my videos, other bonus content. Otherwise, become a sponsor here. It helps me tremendously. So help me. I need all the help I can get, and I can only suck so many dicks. Follow me on social media at Evan Kale, at Pawnman. Spread the joy of Pawnman on social media. Get my books on Amazon, and I'll see you guys back here for another great episode of Pawnman. Later, guys.